Hi, I'm Chantel Cohen, and I just want to give a shout out to Black History Month. Happy Black History Month. And today we are talking about, are you ready for a relationship? And that's a really tough question. I really started to think about it. I said, okay, I'm going to talk about this, but I need a cup of coffee. I am kind of a coffee aficionado. My favorite is Dancing Goats. I am because it's late in the afternoon, and I'm sorry about the noise that you guys are hearing maybe from my mic, but this is such a serious topic. I thought I needed some fuel. And so I'm just going to make some Dancing Goats decaf coffee. I'm going to step off camera for just a second. And I love this. It's from Italy, and a friend of mine, David, gave it to me. And for my birthday, because everybody knows I love coffee, you put the water in here. You put a little bit of coffee in, and it's really easy. You just screw it on, okay? Tighten it, and I'm going to take it over, right? I'm going to take it over to my stove here, and then I'm just going to turn it on high. And let's just talk while this is brewing. Hopefully, guys, that you can see me make a good cup of coffee. So, are you ready for a relationship? You know, if you probably Googled it, you'd find 100 different answers. And so I tried to boil it down to its essence because it is such a serious topic. You know, oftentimes we're looking for someone and we know what we're looking for, but we're not sure who we need to be in order to be ready for a relationship. So that's the stance I took. Who do you need to be in order to be ready for a relationship? So I have a few notes for myself. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about is, are you willing to be committed and committed to someone else, which means that you're going to be interdependent. It means that you're going to say, hey, you know, I need to make this financial decision. You're going to be accountable if you decide to move someplace. Now, you know, I live in Atlanta, and luckily during my husband's career, I had, in the beginning of his career, I had more flexibility, right? And so I would move around with him because I was committed. I was committed. It just made sense. So I want you to think about, commitment is a very, very strong word. You're willing to make that commitment because it's good for the relationship, it's good for your partner, and sometimes it may not be 100% good for you, but you're committing to the relationship. And so there are certain behaviors that go along with that. You can't live as a singleton. So are you willing to be committed and to demonstrate the behaviors, the sacrifices that go along with that? If you're saying right now, I'm pretty selfish in my career, I want things to go just a particular way, then I would have to ask yourself, are you really ready? So I'm going to give a shout out to my cameraman, Patrick. Patrick, am I on the right track here? Because I see you making all sorts of faces at me. I'm good, okay. I just want to make sure I was good. I wanted to make sure that he could see me. By the way, I just want to give a little shout out to Nut Pods. I love Nut Pods. It is coconut milk and almond milk. No fat. It's Whole30 approved, non-GMO. It is the bomb. And guys, I cannot wait. I'm going to turn on my frother, which I love, and hopefully you'll be able to see how it turns out. So let's get back. Are you ready for a relationship? If you're not willing to commit, you're not ready. Another thing, are you willing to work on yourself and take feedback from your partner? So oftentimes you don't know that you're a particular way until you're in a relationship. It's like, you're the only one, I hear this all the time in session, he's the only one who says that about me, or she's the only one that says that about. It's probably because the relationships that you had, maybe they didn't see certain things. And remember, this is about attachment. And so if you can't take feedback that maybe that decision was selfish, maybe that decision that you made wasn't in the best interest of your family, or that maybe you were not as thoughtful when you went to go get dinner for yourself but forgot to ask your partner. if you can't take feedback and if you're not willing to make behavioral changes, probably not ready for a relationship. This is a tough one because here it goes into the third one. You're not ready for a relationship if you're looking for somebody who's exactly like you, because you won't get it. You'll have somebody who has different DNA, maybe lived in a different part of the world. And so I get people who are like, I don't understand why that person's that way. Guys, you're gonna also hear a little background noise because my coffee's brewing, I got the frother on, and so hopefully you can hear me. But don't expect someone to be just like yourself. If that's what you're expecting, then you need to be alone, because your partner is not going to be like you. And I want you to think how those two tie together, that if you are willing to take feedback, which it means that you're willing to grow. All of us are in positions and careers in which feedback is vitally important in order to grow ourselves. Ooh, this is my favorite part, you guys. This means that my coffee's almost ready. It's bubbling. Sometimes it even bubbles over a little bit if I put too much water, but it absolutely makes amazing coffee. So let's see. I'm going to give it 1 minute. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'll talk a little bit about coffee just for a second. Again, Backdorf or Dancing Goats, nut pods, and you are going to see that it has the most amazing froth. And so I'm going to take this off. Let's hope I don't burn myself while I do it. And usually I let it stay on until it's not percolating like this or boiling over. But I didn't want to disrupt too much of what we were talking about. But this is amazing coffee. And so we're making it Italian style, you guys. Turn everything off. Wait till you see my froth. I want you guys to get too jealous on this, but look at this. Okay, so we got some milk. You're not seeing the froth. Okay. Sorry I'm off camera just for a second, and I'm back here, but look at this. This is beautiful. I love it. If you guys don't have one of these, get it. It's a Nespresso frother. I can't live without it. When I travel, I bring it with me because that's how much of a coffee freak I am. And I can't be without it. So guys, I'm not going to disturb us anymore. I'm going to go over, I'm going to have my coffee. So remember that you need to take feedback. And where I was with that is that in every aspect of our lives, we use feedback in order to grow ourselves. And people don't think that that's true in relationships. And so it's really important to be able to take feedback. If you can't take feedback, if your ego is so sensitive, then you're probably not ready for a relationship. If you expect your partner to be a mini you, probably not ready. And this other one is huge, is understanding the importance and the vitalness of communication, and really good communication. You all have heard me talk about connectors and fixers. And remember, just a little refresher, fixers are, they tend to be, they look at relationships in the practical sense, or a little less emotional. Sometimes they get quiet and shut down. And connectors are the partner who wants to talk about their feelings all the time. They want to feel that they're a priority. And connectors and fixers are amazing together. In fact, the alternative, which is connector, or fixer, the alternative, which is connector, or fixer, I'm not saying it can't work, but it's not as great. This is the winning combination, a connector-fixer. And so they have certain needs. And when you're a great communicator, when you use skillful techniques around communication, what you do is you meet your partner's needs. So one of the things I want you to do is to go to becomeoneagain.com, and that's becomeoneagain.com, and take the quiz and see if you're a connector or a fixer. And you're going to get this really nice, detailed report that's going to tell you a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your opposite, whether that's a fixer or a connector, and how to meet their needs. And it is so vitally important that you work on your communication. Your parents told you about the birds and the bees, but they probably didn't tell you how to connect with your partner. So if you're open to learning really healthy communication skills, you are almost all the way there in terms of, because that means even being able to take feedback, understanding that your partner's not going to be like you. And so you're probably ready to be interdependent. And the other is, are you willing to allow yourself to be seen and to be vulnerable? And that means that at times when we're vulnerable, we're not going to always like what we see. Sometimes we have fears getting into a relationship. Sometimes there are things that we don't like about ourselves that we're afraid that our partner will see. And so when you come from an authentic place, because that's where vulnerability resides, is in that authentic place when you're willing to not worry about being right, to not worry about always having the upper hand in a relationship, then being vulnerable is going to enrich your relationship. It's going to create safety. In fact, you're going to feel that you can be absolutely yourself and that your partner is still going to be there. These things are so important. Oftentimes, I see in couples where people for years have been protecting themselves. And what's interesting is when I have someone in my office, clients will come in there arguing like cats and dogs. You did this and you did that, and I'm so upset that this happened. And they're looking at one another and daggers are flying. And then when we start to develop some good communication and I'm starting to ask them to look at one another and to really talk from a vulnerable place, like, you know, when you said that, it made me feel so good, or, you know, I really struggled in that moment because I felt hurt and I didn't know what it meant for our relationship. Couples are like, they start laughing, or they say, I can't look at, it feels too, you know, it's too serious. So being able to show that vulnerable side is really a hallmark in a secure relationship. And so if you're willing to go there, even if you don't feel comfortable, well, damn, you're absolutely ready for a relationship. So hopefully these have been helpful to you. It's not exhaustive, you guys. There are many other hallmarks, but what I tried to do was I tried to synthesize what you would need in order to say, okay, yes, check, yes, check, yes, check. That will tell you, and then think about, there may be one or two areas that you need to work on. By all means, see a coach, see a therapist, go to chantelcohen.com. My team and I are here for you. You can always call and make an appointment through my assistant, Lexi. And you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Or subscribe to us on YouTube. I look forward to hearing your stories. I look forward to hearing how you have worked on a particular area and made yourself ready for an exciting relationship. Again, happy Black History Month, and I can't wait to hear about your Valentine's Day stories. This is a big month. Love is in the air. I'll see you soon. I'm Chantel Cohen, and I help you become one again.